Today started out amazing. I got to bed early last night. I woke up early this morning. I wrote in my journal of gratitude. I did a plank for 3 minutes and 40 seconds. I started out with the best frame of mind. I had a wonderful cup of coffee. The birds were literally singing outside. I had done some mindfulness practice last night so that I could wake up ready to go and tackle what I knew was going to be an incredibly busy day. And about, I don't know, 10 minutes into my actual workday, uh, the walls started crumbling and a tumbling down. And so you might know that song. You know those days though, like that you wake up and everything is great and wonderful and you have so much belief that it's going to be a fabulous day. And then something happens. And in my case, then something else happened. And then something after that, and then something after that. And they were all work related, all completely different. All things that out of nowhere in my crazy busy day just went down the toilet fast. And in every case, I had to have a smile on and I had to get through it and I had to pretend like it was no problem. And inside my head, I'm thinking, I need some Tylenol really badly because I'm not going to make it through this. Now, you might be saying, Michael, this is morning motivation. How could have all this have happened? Well, just a little hint. Sometimes I tape these, a day or so ahead. And in this case, it's several days ahead. And why? Because I thought this was a actually great day to remind myself for something to motivate myself into this coming week. But man, it's hard. You know those days when it just seems like one thing after another, after another, after another is like the universe conspiring to tell you that you suck, that for some reason you can't do what you need to do. And I'll tell you what, one of the first things I did, I didn't even mean to do. And I think I inadvertently did it to somebody who works for me. We were having a great conversation. We're doing some, training. I'm taking her to the next level. And I swear, after a while, I thought I was making her cry. I hope I didn't. She knows she is because I said, I hope I'm not making you cry. But, she got it. We got through there. But that was that first thought of how could something I had so well intentioned actually have somebody have some stress from it and strain. What am I doing wrong? And then right after that, there's something else that I did wrong and something else I missed or something that was out of my control. Doesn't even matter what any of them are. But when they pile on top of each other, one after another, after another, after another, at some point you're going to break, right? Like there's got to be some endpoint to it. I had probably 3 of those today. 3 of those moments where I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Why am I doing this? Why am I torturing myself? I do this occasionally. Most times I make it through the day. I can handle those ups and downs. I know we all face them. This is not unique. And you're probably going, yeah, Michael, that's happening to me right this very minute while I'm watching you. Something tragic's happening in the background myself. Well, and it happens. And we realize this. But I'll tell you, it doesn't make any difference that you know and can rationalize that other people go through it when you're going through it in the moment because it sucks. Let's just all agree. It sucks. Those are the times when your energy that was so positive and so filled with joy and optimism in the morning is slowly crushed. It's that energy that was so vibrant and great from a 9-hour sleep, the night before, and all this focus and mental attention, working your body to some physical peakness. By the way, I didn't even tell you the other part of the great thing that, the morning was, the scale set a number I haven't seen in so many months. It was so exciting. I mean, like a good number, not like a big bad number, good number. So how does all that positivity come down in a crushing blow? Especially one after another, after another. Man, when you're like this, don't you start to doubt yourself? Like, what am I doing? What am I doing wrong? I must be doing everything wrong. And it turns into one thing, turns into, I suck at this. This is truly just proof that I should not be doing what I'm doing whatsoever. Now, it doesn't help that all this week, well, the week that I'm taping this a couple days before Monday motivation. My husband's been gone. He's my greatest cheerleader. He's the one, if, I'm having a bad day or a bad moment, he, gets me out of it. And I've been all week without him. He gets home tonight. Cannot wait. He needs to be home. I need his positive influence. But sometimes I might rely on that a little bit too much, someone to pull me up. And today there was just only me, and me was running out of energy because as the day went by, I was draining slower and slower. And the smile was getting a little harder to plaster on my face. And in my head, besides the headache that was starting to grow and grow and grow, all those thoughts, all those negative thoughts were gaining more stronghold in my head. Uh, I have a great friend, Barbara Kaplan, and she talks about the inner critic. And I interviewed her for the podcast, I think for February, yes, in our Leading with Love series. And one of the things that she suggested, we were talking about, the inner critic and how destructive it can be. And she said, give your inner critic a name, because then you can say to that name, Sally, quit talking to me that way. And I have yet to give my inner critic a name, so I'm always calling it Michael. Michael, you suck. So my inner critic is taking over. As I breathe and I think about it, and I keep looking at Yoga Dog because he's always there, and all day long, everything I was doing was on video. So luckily I see him in my background. I had to keep reminding myself to breathe over and over and over. I don't think I've ever had to stop so many times to remind myself to breathe as I have today, at least in a while. But every time I'd see Yoga Dog, I'd say, okay, take another deep breath. You can get through the next 5 minutes. Trying to calm that inner critic, trying to quiet that inner critic, trying to get that person to step aside so the power within me could still operate at the high efficiency. My roommate in college, Paige Riley, she used to tell me when we'd have tough times, she'd say, you can survive anything for, and then whatever, like I can't make it through finals. You can survive anything for 4 days till you get through finals. I can't get through the last 2 days before I can go home for Christmas break. You can get through anything for 2 days. And that has always stuck with me. Like, you can get through this day, you can get through this moment. But as the day wore on and new problem after new problem arose, it was getting harder and harder to breathe. It was getting harder and harder to push that inner critic away and try and lock her in a closet and keep her there. And it was getting harder and harder for me to keep my head mentally and emotionally above water. In fact, when my husband called me from the airport to say he was just about ready to board, I'm like, you better get home because right now I'm ready to close both businesses, sell it all, get on a boat and just sail around the world. I'll write my books and we'll just have fun. And he's like, okay, well, that's one option we could consider, or perhaps we'll find others. And right after that, I had 2 more calls I had to do and a presentation. So where am I now? And why am I talking about this now? Because when I finally was done, I'm not done for the day even yet. I still have to deal with a couple of those issues. There's some things that I need to wrap up. I need to put a bow on a couple of them. And one of them is still not going to be solved, and it's not going to be done. And it's still going to give me some headache and heartache and, probably tummy ache for the next probably couple weeks. But when I finally was done with the urgent issues ahead, and after I'd looked at Yoga Dog again and taken a couple deep breaths, I did some things that made me happy. First of all, I went and did a little bit more physical fitness stuff. Just so you know, I'm working on pull-ups. I do use a band to help me with it, but I got all my pull-ups in today, 36 of them. I'm pretty impressed with myself. I'm showing off there a little bit. I can't do one unassisted by myself at all, period. But I can do 36 with a giant band on the thing. But I did that because I know physical fitness and physical release of exercise, the endorphins kick in and that helps boost. Then I walked in my garden. Now my garden is in very little growth mode. Some of the pepper plants are already being eaten by slugs, but I've got little flowers on a couple tomato plants and a couple peppers already starting to go. And in that moment, I was back in peace. And I was back in a moment of gratitude and thankfulness. And in those moments, I found more energy to keep going. Now, so I was thinking then about this sense of what do we do when we really feel like we can't take anymore? Like we're ready to give up. We're ready to hang in the towel. And, even though Yoga Dog says breathe, my inner child wants to hide, wants to go hide and pull the covers over my head. But I know I can't do that. So there's this sense of how do you keep going? So I decided to look up some inspirational quotes. And I always knew that there was something about Edison and a light bulb. So I looked it up just to make sure. And a reporter asked him, how he felt about, I'm just going to kind of ad lib this a little bit, but how did he feel about, failing 1,000 times before he made the light bulb? And he said, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I learned 1,000 ways not to make a light bulb. I know it's very optimistic, but it's really true. And here's a couple more that I thought were really, to me, they were very poignant today. You just can't beat the person who won't give up. Babe Ruth. Pretty wise. How about this? It always seems impossible until it's done. Know who that was? That was Nelson Mandela. Winners never quit, and quitters never win. Even that I knew was from Vince Lombardi. Most of the important things in the world have been accomplished by people who have kept on trying when there seemed to be no hope at all. Dale Carnegie. I thought that was pretty impressive. I have a couple more just to inspire you for the rest of this week. Here we go. Never give up, for that is just the place and the time that the tide will turn. Harriet Beecher Stowe. You just never know at that last moment. Now, this one really got me, and this actually really helped me today, too. You do what you can for as long as you can. And when you finally can't, you do the next best thing. Back up. But you never give up. Chuck Yeager. All right, I've got two more for you. I'm going to do them in reverse order that I wrote them. Successful men and women keep moving. They make mistakes, but they don't quit. Conrad Hilton. And because I started this little thing with a little bit about my morning and all the routine, and then decided to go into my motivational quotes with Thomas Edison, I thought I'd end with this last one. Sorry about the rustling of the paper. Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is to always try just one more time. So today, my motivation for this week, for the rest of my day today, for tomorrow, which will be Friday, and for all of this coming week as this plays, is to remind myself that on the days or even just the moments where it seems impossible to keep going, or it's so much work, or it's so hard, or it's so frustrating, or you feel you've failed so many times, or you wonder if you're ever going to get it right, keep going. I should probably quote Dory, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. It's kind of annoying, but it's really true. And that is how I decided to end my day today, was to try and turn my bad day into a motivation for myself and hopefully for you. I hope you have a fabulous week and just keep swimming.